Welcome to the award-winning Champions Mojo, hosted by two world record-holding athletes and health, life, and leadership coaches. And now, just the takeaways from your hosts, Kelly Pallas and Maria Parker.
For the takeaway section, I do want to just say that these are the 8, and then let's just each pick one that we're really going to go. And there are multiples, but you can go first, and then I'll take one that you don't take because there are plenty here that I could do. But so the 8 from this show for celebrating, and the 8 reasons you need to celebrate your success is it gives you that visual cue at the end of a huge goal. It helps us celebrate our strengths and remember that so we can gain encouragement, and it gives us that pile to go over obstacles. It relieves stress, which is just so important. It allows us to reflect and not just get better, but also be a little critical for how we can improve in the future. It inspires motivation so that we can, keep going for our next goal. It builds momentum so we're not just head down on our to-do list. It's recognizing the positives in our lives when there's so much negative it's just like gratitude. And then the last one, which is showing appreciation and acceptance of other people that helped us, and also how we just celebrate to pause and the contributions that a team makes. So kind of in summary, this whole show, that celebration should be part of our lives. It actually does, and you use this word, and I had already kind of put it in the summary, as it requires discipline. Yeah. I mean, you got to plan it. It's not like
if it doesn't require discipline, I'm not doing it.
I know. Yeah, exactly. That's great. So the benefits are far going to outweigh the inconveniences, and it's really going to help take you to the next level of success. So Maria, what is your takeaway that's really stuck out on this list for you that you're going to do? What's going to change your life?
I think remembering to be positive about the day-to-day small wins, particularly with my husband, to not complain about what I didn't do or what didn't go right or what my frustrations are, but to celebrate daily the little wins and focus on those, which is like a gratitude thing. But I think I often talk about what I did during the day. I just want to turn that. I think a major takeaway for me is to turn that daily conversation that I have with myself and the people closest to me into something really positive. Of course, I'm going to say what didn't go well, but I'm going to maximize what did go well and recognize the positive. I think it'll be good for me, and it'll also improve my relationships with my closest loved ones. What about you, Kelly?
So that's number 7, celebrating recognizes the positives in our lives, because there's this negative self-talk, just being negative. And I'm going to go with number 3, which is relieving stress. Celebrating really relieves stress. And as somebody who's suffered on and off with anxiety and depression, stress is with anything. Stress is a silent killer. It's bad for cardiovascular disease. It's bad for anxiety. It's bad for anything. It's bad for your skin. So I really do think that will be a motivating factor for me to celebrate. And like I said, even the small things where I have, if I have 30 items on my to-do list and I get 20 of them done, then I'm going to get up and I'm going to take a walk around the block and enjoy the sunshine, or I'm going to treat myself to, like I said, my favorite bag of coffee that I normally wouldn't buy at the grocery store. But I'm going to really relieve stress by celebrating and knowing that those endorphins are going to, the chemicals, the endorphins, all the good flowing that we get from celebrating. So I'm going to do it to relieve stress.
I like it.
That's my takeaway.
That's great. Are you going to have a minimum number of times to celebrate a day, or are you just going to take it as it comes?
I think that's a great question. And I think we know when we've reached, I think that's a really modulating thing where you just know, you've got to be aware, hey, I'm kind of pushing the brink here of what my my endurances and my strength, and I need to celebrate. I need to celebrate what I've done. So
that's great. I think that's that goes along with listen to yourself. And I had a little story last night. I'm packing for this long trip to Florida, and I had all these stuff that I was going to pile into the car, and I thought, I'm just looking at myself. I'm not ready. I'm just too tired to do that. I think I'll go relax and have my cup of tea instead. So I think that's great.
Yeah, you do need to listen. I have a little story too that I was actually going to tell in the main podcast, but the takeaways are a great place to tell it too. So, we live in a neighborhood where there's one common mailbox that you have to walk to get your mail. And so this morning I went out to get my mail, and we have a beautiful, sweet neighbor. Her name is Louise, and she's 85 years old. And so we happened to be there at the same time. And I said, "Good morning, Louise. And how are you?" And she says, "Oh, I'm going to have to get a shot in my eye today." Oof. And of course, me, I'm like, "Oh, Louise." And so, she's got a condition that she does. She says, "I have to do it once a month." And so I literally said to her, "Do you do anything to reward yourself after you've done that?"
Yeah, and you definitely need a reward after that.
Yeah. So I think, and it's also kind of stress relieving. Yeah. So she was already this morning thinking about what she had to do with the shot. And, if she could put in a celebration at the end, then that's going to relieve stress for her. It's not just the to-do list, but it's also getting yourself through things that you don't want to do. And then saying, "You know what, I did that." Like a hard workout, I did that. So,
beautiful.
So anyway, those are the takeaways. And Maria, you need to pack and get on the road down to Florida, right?
I do. I'll see you in a couple of days. I can't wait. Okay. Love you, Kelly.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Champions Mojo podcast with host Kelly Palace and Maria Parker. Champions Mojo is produced by Cabra Media, and a new episode debuts every Tuesday. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. Follow Champions Mojo on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook @Champions Mojo.